tell me about like how you got involved with Angel Flight, and if you want to just kind of share and like kind of your perspective on giving back and kind of using aviation to do that.
Yeah. So yeah, once I guess really just the feeling that I got from being up in the air, I wanted to be able to share that with other people. And so I just started Googling aviation charities. I didn't even know what might exist. And I discovered Angel Flight West, signed up, and I'll never forget the first mission that I flew for them. So Angel Flight West is a nonprofit. There's about 2,000 volunteer pilots, and our primary mission is providing free air transportation for people in need of medical care far from home. And so that can be burn victims traveling for specialized care. It can be transplant patients. It can be for a lot of cancer patients, but really any medical issue where somebody's traveling to receive that care, we can help alleviate the cost and the burden of that travel. So my first flight was with an 18-year-old kid named Bradley. Bradley was 15 when he was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, and his family happens to live 5 to 6 hours away from the children's hospital. And so for 3 days a week, his mom would load him up in the car and drive 5 hours to Phoenix Children's Hospital, wait for his treatment to get done, and then drive home to be with the other two kids. And they wore out 3 cars. So financially, it's crushing them. From a recovery standpoint for Bradley, obviously not ideal. You're spending a ton of time on the road. Also for the family financially, mom now can't work because she's spending all this time on the road. And now you've got a mom that's in a high stress situation who's exhausted, driving 10 hours 3 times a week, 30 hours on the road. So when they discovered Angel Flight West and we started flying, my flight from Deer Valley Airport to where he lives is an hour and 15 minutes. So they can sleep in, they get to their appointment. We provide the transportation not only to Phoenix, but then from the airport to the hospital and back. And then we get them back home. And so for their recovery, for their finances, like it's a life-changing event. And if you think that getting in an airplane and flying changes something in you on its own, and you get an 18-year-old kid in your airplane who, on that appointment, he happened to be traveling to find out if they'd even be able to continue treatment. He was looking at the end of his life. And talk about just putting life into perspective. All of a sudden, whatever problems I thought I had that day are pretty small in comparison. Oh man, I didn't buy the house I was trying to get, or the house fell out of contract. Wow. Yeah, not really a problem, right? That's an inconvenience. And that just happens over and over again. You form lifetime relationships with these people because you're providing a service, you're changing their life, and they're changing mine. The most recent flight that I did was a lady that, 71-year-old lady in Ely, Nevada, whose son was dying in a hospital in Las Vegas. And due to some personal disabilities, she couldn't drive to be there. And I was fortunate to be able to fly up there, pick her up, and get her to Las Vegas in time where she could spend the last few moments of her son's life with him at the hospital that she would have missed otherwise. And so there's these things that they change me. Like I know that we're doing a service for people, but it has so deeply affected me in so many ways. And we've got 2,000 pilots that volunteer. The organization is incredible. Our pilots last year donated 4 times more than all of the donations we received to operate the charity. So we operate on about a $2 million budget. Our pilots donated over $8 million in services last year. And we're only serving maybe 5 to 10% of the people that we could be. So I spend a lot of time reaching out to hospitals and cancer treatment centers and other specialty care places to let people know about the opportunity that we have. We also do flights for victims of domestic violence and abuse so that we can get them away from the people that are persecuting them. We do flights for active duty and retired military personnel and all kinds of other compelling human needs. It's transformational, and that's nationwide. Angel Flight West is nationwide, so pilots anywhere can enjoy that opportunity.
And It gave me chills, man. I think perspective is incredible, and what a, what an opportunity it is for you to give back. And yeah, I mean, both those stories, young and old, and kind of everyone needs help, and being able to use the airplane as a tool, and like you're being able to pilot it, that skill that you've been able to obtain too, and using that's incredible, man. So I know as soon as I get my IFR, which I keep putting on and I keep delaying, but I almost feel like that needs to be the, like, hey, like, I got to get my IFR because I gotta join Angel Flight. Like it's almost like more of a reason to get it quicker than it is like just so I can have the rating. Cause it's like, now I really do want to be a part of the Angel Flight and just be able to just help people in that capacity. That's incredible.
It's life changing, or it has been for me. And I think that goes back to, you asked, what about guys that have wanted to fly and aren't doing it? Well, I think that giving yourself permission to have those experiences, but then also, recognizing that it goes way beyond just, hey, I want to go up an airplane and fly around. Like, you can serve in this way. The flights that I'll be doing to Mexico is another example of that. It can expand your relationships. It can expand business opportunities. Like, if flying is an expensive choice, but the return that I'm getting in joy and in business opportunities and building relationships is exponentially greater than anything I've ever spent on airplanes.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I think it's like private aviation almost has a sexiness with it. That's like, yeah, all the wealthy guys are flying their jets down to Florida and whatever. And I think that, yeah, there is that opportunity. Yeah. If you have a plane, yeah, you can pack up and pretty much go and you have that incredible freedom to do that. But I think if you also combine that, wow, look what else you can do. Look what other things you can do to give back. And then now this is more than just like a luxury, but like this is a tool to help and support your community and just tons and tons of people. I think there's times for me, and even like the last few weeks, it's like, all right, well, I want a bigger plane so I can take my family and I can take myself, but it's like, wow, if I get a bigger plane and I have more seats, I can probably take a family that needs medical treatment. Yeah. Or like, you can take, a mother and her two sons or something like that. Or, I even know that there's organizations out there that fly dogs and animals. Yeah. And so there's a lot of other, things you can do it. So it's like, I think shifting that perspective of like, yeah, I really want this for me. It's like, all right, I want this because it'll help my life, but also it's a tool for me to give back. And so I thank you very much for kind of helping me even today, like kind of shifting that perspective of what aviation can do.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a life-changing experience, no matter how you use it. And I think that's just real closely tied to, I think there's a perception sometimes that just like what you expressed, right? Like the wealthy are just out having a good time or whatever. I had a neighbor who reached out to me, knew that I was doing Angel Flights, and his wife needed a liver transplant. She was going to die in the hospital in Phoenix. And the only hospital that would do or could do the surgery was in Florida. And so, they reached out. That's a farther flight than what Angel Flight West could handle. But through some of his personal contacts and mine, we were able to find somebody that had a private jet that was able to take them in her condition and donate that time to get them where they needed to go. And so, and this is why, for me, pursuing these business opportunities and growing financially is so powerful. It's not like I really don't need anything more than what I have right now, luxury wise, outside of a faster airplane anyway, but the ability then to impact the number of lives that you can touch increases as well. Now, through the outreach that I was doing, I met a lady here in Phoenix who, after her daughter and husband both passed away within a year of different cancers, she started an organization here in town that she's now helping 2,000 people in Arizona with their cancer treatments. And she wouldn't be in a position to do that if she hadn't succeeded financially. But because she had those resources and now she has the heart for a cause, she's changing the lives of literally thousands of kids across Arizona.
Yeah, man. It's like bomb's got to drop on that one, right? That's great. Love it, man. You got to be successful so you can kind of, widen that impact that you can do. So very cool.